Hi, so this is editing me here to put a disclaimer on this video. So I recorded this video about September 4th, September 3rd, I think September 3rd, and I decided to check up some videos about this program, and basically I realized that I've been saying the program's name completely wrong, like entirely wrong. I refer to it as Ibispaint, and I believe after watching several people's videos, it's called Ibispaint. So I do apologize if that bothers you, but I do know now. Yeah, if it bothers you too much, you might as well just click off the video because I do refer to it as Ibispaint the entire video, even though I know now it's Ibispaint. But yeah, I guess it's just one more for me in terms of pronouncing something wrong again. But yeah, okay, bye. Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be working in Ibispaint. I'm not too sure how many videos I'm going to do in Ibispaint just because it's not exactly my favorite program to use. It's just a little bit more of a learning curve, I guess. So maybe the more I play around with it, the more maybe I'll get used to it. But for now, I think I'm going to stick with Procreate. So yeah, I think it's going to be undetermined how many videos I'm going to make using Ibispaint. I know a lot of you guys use Ibispaint, but just because I'm not comfortable using it as much, I don't want to be putting out so many videos using it. But for today, I am going to be using it to do a quick illustration. I'm going to be doing probably a digital painting of Lovelyz Jisoo. I've been listening to Lovelyz a lot again because they just had their comeback. So in terms of brushes and stuff, I'll try my best to leave information in text, like little text boxes and stuff, so that you guys know what I changed in each tool, because I'd rather not have to verbally explain it just because I don't remember everything from the top of my head. So I'm using a 5x7 inch canvas with 350 dpi. Ooh, I didn't watch the ad yet. Let's do that. Okay, so now we can use all the brushes for 18 hours, which is great. I have, under my custom brushes, I have everything that I prefer to use or that I have tested. I'm not probably going to use the watercolor one. Oops, how do I do this? Oh, here it is. Okay. So these are all the brushes I'm going to be using. All of these pretty much have some kind of setting changed probably, except for the pencil tool. But yeah, I'll leave them little text boxes as I click through them. So basically how I'm going to do this is that when the brush first appears, when I'm using it, I will put up the brush settings, but then after that I probably won't put them in. So just keep a watchful eye on when I'm probably going to use a brush maybe you're interested in. Okay, so I do have a reference of Jisoo on my phone. So I have basically her hair, her clothing and everything, kind of just, I have a reference basically, so I'm not too lost. But I don't think I'm going to use the same pose just because I don't really like it, I guess, like the pose as much. Feels a little laggier than usual. Just a reminder that I don't draw females that often anymore, so excuse me if I accidentally butcher Jisoo. Also, I highly recommend that you try out different settings of your brushes and stuff to see what kind of brush you would like to use rather than relying on what other people use. Because I changed the brush settings to be a certain way to mimic the Procreate brushes that I enjoy using. Obviously they're not going to be exactly the same. If anything, they're definitely not the same, but so Jisoo's ears kind of stick out a little bit. Oh, here's my pressure curve. What my pressure curve is set at. I haven't changed it since I did the June painting, and it was more like idea for when I was doing the painting portion, but I don't want to mess with this because I do like how it feels for painting rather than for sketching, and sketching is like, I can just deal with this, so. Also, I do apologize if the lighting's a little bit off. I haven't recorded like an iPad video in broad daylight, I feel like, in a while. Maybe I will do this pose. Probably have to move her hand up. Have it resting under her chin. Okay, I forgot I have to turn that off. So I don't like having quick eyedropper on when I'm sketching, but I like having it on for painting just because I find it a little bit more helpful. Because I need to change colors like often. And I'm probably going to have to change her eye shape a little bit as we paint. So it's more of a Now usually I like drawing people with bangs, but Jisoo doesn't have any bangs. Well, she has like a little bit, but a lot of it's covered with a headband. The way her hand's positioned, that makes her neck look really tiny. Maybe I should make these more straight. We'll fix that hand. That looks off. We'll fix it later. Drawing hands is not my strong suit. I think whenever I drew like people from Lovelyz, like any of the members, I tend to draw Jie, I think, and Baby Soul, I think, and then Jisoo. I feel like I want to draw Jisoo more. She's so pretty. Also, thank you guys for sending in your tips and tricks. Because I did do research beforehand, so I knew how to change brush settings and stuff. But I hope you guys also kind of sifted through the comments so you can find tips for yourself as well. Just want to shave her jaw in a little bit more because Jisoo has more of an oval face. So I actually am going to quickly clean up some of these areas just because to make painting a little bit easier, it would be nice to not have any of these kind of lines. So when I was making and changing some of the brushes, I was looking mostly at the kind of like the texture and all that with the brush, but also looking at how it tapers or thins out, because most of the things that I changed within the brush were mostly stuff that were the shape. I think it's called the shape pattern. I actually don't remember what the setting is called within the tool settings and stuff. I'll show you guys really quickly. So for, let's say, pen fade, or not pen fade, Oriental. I think Oriental had some kind of like weird texture and stuff. I think it's more like stringy. And if you go to shape, you can change the shape here, like the brush pattern. And as you can see, I have one at Air Trapezoid 80. I believe this one's like at 40, and then this one's like at 60 or something. But that's pretty much what I changed it to, because these Air Trapezoid percentages and stuff are very similar to the medium circle, I think, in the default brushes and stuff for Procreate. So I don't remember if she has mono lids. I feel like she does. Maybe she has hooded lids. I'll probably give her hooded lids. Okay, I think I'm gonna add the colors in now. Just trying to figure out how I want to do the hair. Hair's a little messy, but okay, I'm going to... Yeah, how do I want to do this? I'm going to duplicate this layer. Gonna hide this one. I am gonna lock this. My brain's having a hard time. I can do this much faster in Procreate. Okay. Guess this brush isn't gonna be large enough. I'm actually gonna change the line art color to kind of a nice brown color. Background. Make a new layer. So Jisoo's standing like next to kind of like a reddish colored background, but she's also standing behind this thing that's like nice and green. So maybe... towards blue. I have this set. So current layer. There we go. We're gonna set this line art or sketch layer to multiply, so that when we go here, the sketch colors will, or the sketch color will turn to more of a appropriate color as we color everything in. Now I like to do majority like the shadows and everything for the skin before I do any of the other colors, because of the other areas like hair, eyes, clothing, I tend to kind of render and shade everything more appropriately when I'm actually doing the... how to explain? Well, I guess your sleeves are short. Wait a second. Oh, we'll do that in... I'll do that when I'm actually merged all the layers, so I can easily fix that. But yeah, after once I merge everything, that's when I start to kind of fix the colors, do the shading for everything else. So this is really soft. Quickly using the airbrush to make this a little bit simpler, since I'm not gonna have too harsh of shadows. I'm gonna keep switching brushes, so this is why I'm not gonna keep putting the settings up, because I'm still testing so many things that I keep changing brushes to test out, kind of, to see what fits and what doesn't fit. Okay, I'm gonna have to change the quick eyedropper to be back on. So the reason why I turn quick eyedropper off is because sometimes when I'm sketching back and forth, it will recognize that as a hold onto the canvas, so it thinks I'm trying to pick up a color rather than me just going back and forth, which for me is like really annoying. But because when I'm digitally painting, I pick up colors quite often, so because I'm often mixing colors on the canvas by overlaying the colors and then picking up whatever is mixed after. And I can't tell what's faster, me picking up the color via like the pen or via my finger, because it just seems like the delay is still a lot longer compared to Procreate. And I like how Procreate you can change the duration basically of how long you have to press for it to recognize it as a color pickup. But other than that, I don't really have any gripes against Ibispaint. But I think you guys should listen to Lovelyz Obliviate. I really like the song. See, yeah. It's like a habit I need to break if I want to use Ibispaint with the color picker like that. She looks a little too yellowy for you guys. Okay, I'm gonna add a highlight color. If I have any tips that I forget to like mention, then I'll make sure to put them in little text thingies. Hopefully I've already done that prior to this, because I'm probably already missed like a lot of things I could have mentioned like a long time ago. So Jisoo's eyes are obviously a dark brown, but let's see. I think I'm gonna make them like a navy color, and then we can add a little bit of yellow to match her shirt. We'll fix the lips after. She has really cute, like the corners of her mouth kind of go upwards, and I think it's really cute. Let's see. I'm gonna add a lighter color to her eyes. It's not gonna show up. And then I'll add the yellow a bit after. So we're gonna add kind of like a navy blue. I'm not used to this color wheel, by the way. I like when this is actually like flat. I don't know, this is just messing up with my brain, but that's just me, like something I need to get used to. Because I use the classic, I think, in Procreate, which is similar to how they have it in Paint Tool SAI. This is a little too saturated. It's better. So we're just over half an hour into working on this, which isn't too bad. Definitely took a lot longer doing the sketch, but I think me taking longer on the sketch is to my benefit, so I'm not too worried about that. I'm gonna have to bleed the skin color into her bangs right here, because they're actually supposed to be a little bit thinner, because there are like a lot of different tinier strands supposed to be peeping through. So I don't think I'm gonna render this like 100% and leave some areas. I just want to focus mostly on her face. But we'll start adding shadows now. So usually I would add a multiply layer, but I think I'm gonna add the shadows manually. I don't remember where I left off. But also if you notice up here, it's gonna be blurred. The reason being is because there's some ads that are, I guess, they pertain to my location upon where I live, so I do have that blurred just because I don't want people knowing exactly where I'm living, so yeah. It's probably because I have my location on for my iPad that I'm getting ads that are like specific to my area. I should probably turn that off. Yeah, but I think I said I was gonna do the shadows just manually, not using the multiply tool, so we're just gonna quickly block these in. Using multiply would be a lot easier, so I just have to choose one. shadow color and I can block everything in. Ah! See, I don't like how this color picker doesn't... It's just sometimes really annoying. I should actually probably change brushes. Was I using round brush to do? Probably. So this is actually supposed to be skin color. Because her shirt's actually a little bit shorter than I thought. Her sleeves anyways. So I probably have to put skin here too. That's the best we can do. I am gonna change this a little bit. So we're gonna go effects. Just color. Hue and saturation. Wait, why is it like this? Wait. I don't know why it's like that. Hue and saturation. Oh, these are like automatically set. This helps mostly for like the skin line art. It just looks a little bit more natural when it kind of has to multiply over the skin color. Okay, so I'm actually going to merge these. I don't remember how to do this. Okay. So, I don't remember which brushes I've used for what. So basically, all I'm gonna do is mostly clean up. Make things look a little bit more clearer. I don't know. Use brushes the same. They're probably about the same. Just have to avoid pressing too hard. I'm not gonna fully render this right now. I need to make sure the eyes are even. These look the exact same. There's no point of having both of these, to be honest. Because I can just adjust it as I go, but both of them are set to Trapezoid Air 80 or whatever. So I think this is the brush that I use the most, I think. That or would be the pen, or like the round one, this one. The round brush particle, which I also changed the shape. I think I use this round brush more for the hair. This is kind of the reason why I don't want to share brush settings, just because I always change the brush settings and I know people are going to be like, I have the same brush settings as you, but I'm not getting the same texture or effect. I can't really help you with that because I constantly keep changing it. I don't know if I can change it so you guys can see more appropriately. Sorry if I'm suddenly quiet. Every time I'm concentrating, like, I forget that I need to sometimes narrate what I'm doing. So I'm basically just trying to get rid of a lot of these sketch lines at this point, so that the majority of the stuff that I have to clean up is done, basically. But I don't think I planned the hair out very well. Okay, let's clean up the hand a little bit. It's so noisy in the morning. I think some people had questions, or not questions, they said like they were confused whether or not I was recording in the morning or like afternoon versus like the evening. Because I think some people were saying like, oh, she meant to say like 12 p.m. not 12 a.m. But no, I meant 12 a.m. Not today. Today is definitely in the afternoon. But whenever I do like ASMR videos, they are usually around 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. It's just a lot quieter at night because everyone in my house is asleep. If I'm lucky, the neighbors aren't out and about. So I'm gonna use this lighter blue, I guess, for the highlights of the shirt. Just because technically her shirt color is this nice darker shadow color. Pick up a slightly darker color. Do a little bit of line work. I feel like I'm trying to avoid certain areas. Usually I would avoid the hand, but I guess I wanted to get that over with. I'll try my best to erase as many things as I can. Use the marker tool to... This is what I was using before, so it's not really making a difference. So I don't think I talked about this, but I find this a little bit similar to Paint Tool Sai in terms of like the stuff that you're given, and I feel like you can probably work fairly fast if you have prior experience in Paint Tool Sai. Let's see if I can actually change the settings for you guys so you can see the hair better. Her skin looks a little blown out if I zoom in, but you guys can see the hair a little bit better. But yeah, so I think if you saw in the beginning, there's like a little illustration of Ignots, and I did that in my normal kind of like layer by layer kind of style where I'm, you know, I did all the line art beforehand and I do this really clean coloring. And it looks very similar to how I work in Paint Tool Sai. So maybe I will do another session, but I don't know if it's gonna be a... Actually, you guys can let me know. People who get this far into the video can let me know. Would you want me to do an ASMR version of me doing one of these rendered chibis? I'll put one on the screen so you guys can see it. That's done in Paint Tool Sai, but instead of Paint Tool Sai, I'll do it in Ibispaint. But do you guys want to see me do that in real time with me doing narration and stuff? So we can talk about process a little bit easier, or would you like me to do it via like ASMR so that everything that I talk about will be done via like text, little text bubbles and stuff? So do let me know, because as much as I say like I prefer to do stuff like how I want to do it, but because Ibispaint was literally just like it was requested by people, so I decided to give it a go. I know some people want me to do auto sketchbook, I think, as well. So I'll look into that. I don't want to download too many programs onto my iPad because I do have the 32 GB iPad and I like to preserve the space that I have on here, even though I could just transfer stuff. But I don't want to have too many programs on here that I'm not going to use. But if Auto Sketchbook, I think, Autodesk Sketchbook or whatever it's called, is something you're interested in, do let me know and maybe I'll look into it. So in terms of when this video comes out, I think it'll be like a week after. Is it a week after? I think a week after the ASMR one comes out, so you guys can definitely let me know if you prefer me to do like full narration. Not full narration, kind of just rambly, real-time talk while I do a chibi. Otherwise, I will do just the ASMR version. Because both have their pluses and their downsides, so in terms of me having to record. I can't color these tiny areas without accidentally causing the color picker. But hopefully after I finish this, I'll be working on another watercolor painting. Because I'm really wanting to paint. I'm like, I don't know, I'm itching to paint more than draw or sketch, which is a bit rare. I did do the sketch and Procreate, so maybe I'll do another session where you guys can come along while I plan an illustration. Because I love like collecting photos and stuff from Pinterest and incorporating the like flower photos and stuff into the Masaki pieces. I still have to plan the Mingyu one. I've been putting it off. I still haven't have a solid like idea of what kind of a color palette I want him to have. I did a poll, well not a poll, I asked people on Instagram what color they think suits Mingyu, and a lot of people picked dark green. Some people pick orange, and I can't tell if you're trolling because some of you guys picked Cheeto orange. But a lot of you guys picked like darker neutral colors, which is nice. Like a dark green, neutral brown palette or something. I'll have to look up flowers and stuff, because I don't know what kind of flowers I want to do. That would fit the color palette a little bit better. Okay, her eyebrows. It's really simple. Okay, I think the last thing I have to work on is just her eyes and then her shirt. I need to get rid of all these like construction line guidelines type things out. It would have been easier for me if I just erased the lines before I merged the layers. I'm just gonna outline certain parts of this because I don't want the outline to be too jarring. Okay, I can't. Just do small strokes instead of going back and forth. This doesn't look like her arm. Doesn't look like it belongs to her. Oh well. Ay, her eyes. But usually I render eyes like right at the beginning. I don't know, I've been putting it off for this. So I never do eyes like the same. It's always like super inconsistent. Add this color into the upper portion of her eye. Just gonna buff out her lashes a little bit more. Okay, I think she's mostly done, except for like, I guess the headband. Which I don't know how I want to color. Besides the fact that I think I should add other colors in here. But yeah, this one's definitely a little bit more like sketchy, kind of painterly. Except for the face, I guess, is a little bit more clean. But everything else is a little bit more sketchy, which isn't a bad thing. Definitely nice to do something a little bit looser. I'm actually gonna add a little bit yellow into her hair. I think originally I actually had the blue in her hair as well. I don't like that color. Like that. Just gonna add a little bit of strands just to make the hair a little bit more less locky feeling. That is all I'm probably gonna do. As you can see, I did work on all in one layer basically. This is all I've been painting. That little green spot. Okay, so I think that is it. I'm actually gonna play the quick overview, so I'm gonna exit out. I have to blur that, but yeah. I don't know if there's a... I wish you could scrub, but you can't, so... That's okay. You guys can watch the full length. I think we spent, so according to my recording thing, it's 20 minutes. It's 40 plus 30 plus 20, so we're at an hour and a half? Just over an hour and a half, I think. 20, 20, 20, that's 60 plus, yeah, we're at an hour and a half basically. Just over an hour and a half. I'll say like an hour and 40 minutes we've been working on this. If there's a way to check, maybe I should check so we can double check this, but that's okay. I think she turned out pretty cute. I don't know about proportioning and stuff. Her neck is a little bit thicker compared to, I think, the rest of her body, maybe. It looks a little bit more normal for you guys because the iPad is at a little bit more of an angle this time. But, yeah. So slowly fleshing things out, cleaning things up. But I like showing you guys the overview so you guys can see everything slowly come together without my hand constantly being in the way. I'm excited to paint today. I actually had a lot of fun working in Ibispaint today just because I think the subject matter was also very fun to paint. And after you get over the fact that, you know, you're not going to get like super smooth transitions, at least not with the brushes that I was currently using, I think I just accepted that this is going to look a little bit more painterly, especially in the hair this time, which doesn't have any like mixing or anything. It's just like subtle transitions by changing the value. Wish you could see the bottom, but the ad. I think I enjoy working like this every so often, so maybe I'll use Ibispaint every so often. Probably not for finished illustrations per se, but for these kind of like studies maybe. I think it would be nice to work on this, but yeah, as you can see, this is all I've been doing. And this is what I meant, that I approached this more closely to how I do stuff on Paint Tool SAI if I'm not working in a painterly way. If I know I'm going to be doing it in a more clean, doing line art first and then doing the colors after. So as you can see, this is how I work. I'll do another one where I'm going to be using a chibi. This is me basically figuring out how to do layers and stuff more appropriately, just because like I knew it was going to be similar to SAI because of the bucket tool and stuff. You can actually select the whole folder so that you can use the bucket tool on one layer and it'll basically use it. I don't know how to explain it. It's the same thing as selection tool, the selection source in Paint Tool SAI. So that's what I was basically testing. I couldn't find a brush similar enough to do how I like to do the hair and stuff. So this it is a little bit more messier than usual, but you know, in general, really fun to use. I really wish I could scrub so I could make this faster, but yeah. Basically, I could do everything I want to do in Paint Tool SAI in here, except for it's just a little bit slower, and line art on the iPad for myself, I don't really like to do, so that's why I tend to avoid it. But yeah, that's Ignatz. And then the lava one I had was of Masaki. So this one was my first attempt painting. And I actually quite like this a lot more than even the other ones I've been doing. But I don't remember the brush settings I was using. But it's just basically a lot of color picking. Because as you can see, these aren't exactly blended. They're very much like you just layer colors on top of each other. And from far away, it looks really smooth and really nice. But yeah, definitely more of a painterly approach, which I don't mind. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching me paint Lovelyz Jisoo. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time with another video. So yeah, bye!